For 614 Radio.
Emo bibi akwaba edeba Oman Adwuma eso they said they be amunim no your friend Kumasi Nyame and then so you be din komo kakra na ya ba na ya be church ya dwene ya fa niema ekwoso Ghana ho. Then I'm going to tackle a very difficult situation here. It's hard for us to talk about, and I honestly believe it's high time that we do talk about it. It's high time that we do talk about it because most of us, we do not want to talk about that situation. But it is high time that we do talk about it. And they are seven I know about the canon, and they are seven I may know about the channel, and now I'm what I want say about Oman Adwuma so they are. Nay, my venture, and I may a day. Maybe I bet you near the dim come air politics, air coso or a Ghana home. It's too bad, no off frame or bad why day. Watch the watching, let's say, Jumadino Akoso Tortain, Wano. But all Baswana watch a video, no Eddie Amame, that the evening and Komoka cry. Why, Oban watch a video on the Amame, Musi in Yamishamo, Oban watch a video, no Eddie Amame, say, and Comodi, I come. Anybody you Komoka cry, Head, Asaralo, tidbits, that what is it? Alakash, I reside here. Alan Cash or resign, yes. But Alan Cash resign, Why not? I be seen a name, you be the home come. It did Alan Cash or resign. You be the and also home come. It's normal politics na any social commentary in the America so ya brabumuna me de ebro etuba no a video no e de amai no akọ eye tune no so okowa edwagu right now no akọ akuti tune na Afro 614 multimedia ye honom okọ Facebook Afro 614 multimedia ye honom okọ YouTube Afro 614 multimedia me live YouTube so right now oba Oko Play Store so no download Afro 614 app no oba a video audio ini ade nyina obeten wo ho no na wahwe info nyina edwagui na watie nsema ekoso ibi okoso www.afro614multimedia.com www.afro614multimedia.com open Afro 614 ho information nyina e wo ho no na se wakọ na wakọ akotie ene enkomo na em dey bro it's a tough topic a very very dicey, a very very tricky. It is everything that we can talk about when it comes to society more. Enkomo bia ye pesi be di kura but enkomo so esi ye di pa esi ye te ase ne hu se ekan ho ekwan be ne be fa so na ya hwe na ye de aye ne ye enti eba me introduce topic natural se see them pacho take this time and share the video for me, go on your platforms and invite everybody to join me today that Kumasi Nyame is here with Oman Adwuma. They said the union anim no Oman Adwuma onso when nipa and you be ne be ya man yene ya ne be ya de etu ba no ai dey no aba platform no so na wa be kire wa dwen na se ye de dwubadie no ahyehyehye so yes e dey na ekoso Ghana enema pi ekoso Ghana ye nyina yenim you know I know what is going on in Ghana. Even in our politics a lot is going on in Ghana. Yes. And maybe you need control over it, but yet we will find control over it because this is our lives and this is what affects our lives. It's in affecting your life, we have to find a way to address those issues. And then also Alan Cash, Alan Cash. Or start to say ope Frank 24 na MPP and then Kofo a free power na Alankazi started say or pay Frank 24 no e de ama MPP party no but oba na do di nanim kan oba na do edi nanim kan but na idie e me say why na dwen say this year dey am far evfabio na do appointed say onye dey omrama meye a trade minister, trade and industry minister. Say ba ye dwedi hu sensem de a ono na ese oyede oba no beda ano. Anado appointing say omra meda sa nema no ano. Na de eku mu ne sisi a de say I say wo Ghana. The eku mu sisi a de say or resign from the position. Or resigning from position, they say, obey serious, no I campaign who you or they call a flag bearership now, or per se, or yeah, the mother new patriotic party, no, and who you or per se, or court no good right now. Ebeku Yamano, Nina Asam Sebe, 2024, Nina Ebehunu, Sebeku Yamano, same Kuyamano, so Behunu smoothness level, so who smoothness level, Nina Agina on Wankasa, so. Intinese, a horn also, I don't know. Nah, I say, whoa. Tidbits, no, Ebini. I say, fix the country, the move. Thousands march in Tamale to demand new constitution. Yes, let me say, yeah, this our constitution in Hong Kong, Ache. Baude T. I said thousands of people on Saturday march on the principal streets of Tamale Metropolitan to demand a new constitution for the country. The protesters said the 1992 constitution had outlived its usefulness and needed to be discarded and make way for a new constitution. This, they noted, will protect Ghana's 3 decades-old democracy. Demonstration was organized by the Fix the Country movement and several other youth advocacy organizations, including Activista Ghana. Demonstrators held placards, some of which reads, "Let's write a constitution that empowers everyone. We deserve better than this. Zapon Pala Pongu to wait. A new constitution now," among others. Protesters convened at the Tamale Jubilee Park, where they marched through the police headquarters street, through the PWD road to the Waters Canteen. From there, they moved towards PK Gambula Street in Teshegu and joined the Tamale Katanga main highway before turning towards Chogu Rana. Fix the country for no. Oma day, Oma Kaumuhu, fix the country for no. Aka Omoho, Omu Kaumuho, also the Anene, Yinina, Yinim, the air day, air Koso. Fix the country for no Oma Kaumuho. Now, Omusi Obu did Jumaka cry. Omusi Obu did Jumaka cry, Tino. And no where Jumani air day, Yedi, it's the air because we are so, yeah, bro. Let's move to the third base. Let's move to the third base. I say, my health condition disturbs me. Ghana's tallest man. Let me say, you had and say, Anna, in your baby, I must say, or the tallest man in the world. But as at now, no, it has been debunked. As at now, it has been debunked. Say, or the tallest in the world. But it's Suleimana Abdul Samed, the tallest man in Ghana, has bemoaned his poor health condition whilst holding a world title. I said, Odasukura world title. Suleimana, who goes by the nickname Auchi, was diagnosed with gigantism when he was 22 years old. During his monthly checkup at a local hospital in the northern region of Ghana, he was measured at 9 feet 6 inches, which is 1 feet away from the world's tallest man. Oh wow! According to Samed, he would have been happier if he was in good health while being the world's tallest man. It disturbs me a lot when I think that Auche is the tallest man in the country or in the world. And then you get to a point where he's not feeling well. I don't feel happy about it. If my wound was not to be there, I would have been happy. Oh, I would have been happy with it because someone tall like this shouldn't have been fit, he said. Yes, Indiano, ne home fado, Indiano, ne home fado cry. The ATA say, while Ufuriata was made a caretaker trade minister, a Kufuado lawyer explains. They said they became, trade minister, trade and industry minister, Alan Kojo Chamanten, or did you medine eto honomo, yede, Oman Penini appointed Ken Ufuriata of all people, Ken Ofori-Atta of all people, the finance minister said, onye caretaker. That the entire man paying the caretaker. Say President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo on January 6, 2003 asked Finance Minister Ken Ofori-Atta to serve as the caretaker Minister of Trade and Industry. The development came after the President accepted the resignation of Trade and Industry Minister Alan Chamate. After the reports emerged, he tendered his resignation on Thursday, 5th, 2023. For some people on social media platforms, the choice of Ofori-Atta as caretaker was problematic to the extent that he already has his hands full with the finance ministry. Another school of thought asks why one of Alan's deputies could not be handed an acting role till the vacancy is filled. One such person was a former trade minister and aide to John Dramani Mahama, Joyce Bauer Motari, who tweeted, "I served as a deputy minister, and yes, as a deputy, the president has to nominate you, vet you, and confirm you to serve as a minister. My point is that a deputy minister should be able to act in the absence of the minister. The jury is still out on the matter. Let's hear your views." Responding to her tweet, Paul Esuma, who is a lawyer for the president, Akufo-Addo, offered some reason why a deputy could not replace a resigned substantive minister. As deputy minister, you were nominated by the president, vetted and approved by parliament, and sworn the deputy minister's oath before the president. You were appointed pursuant to Act 79 to assist your minister who participated in cabinet meetings. In your minister access to cabinet meeting, his or her colleague cabinet minister held his or her belief and provided reports and belief to cabinet and not the deputy minister, Esumai explained. Yes, your person change and said the TT and said, we know you swear in as a deputy minister and you swear in as a minister. So basically I have a substantive minister there as he swearing in as a minister, of which as at now the president don't see any reason why as was swearing in as a minister until so be make decision on that position. It's no and everybody come on ekoba ebedi a freestyle nkomo and e baba bedi we patch oba no wa share video no e de amame no wa invite to bi so omra me share na Kumasi Nyame e online e Afro 614 multimedia so na answer na no e de adwadi ehun djuma e betu inkwell I see omo change omu ni akọ quick copy omo ne so masene na de omo ye ne say omo volume printing, anything printing. Say photos, there's all person print here. So actual books, and there's all person print here. Say cards, complimentary cards, and there's all person print here. Old photos be now person or transfer. Printing canvas printing, wallpaper, and our bundle printing, volume printing, any type of printing be out piano obayama until so person uhunu inkwell over 1900 East Dublin Granville, 1900 East Dublin Granville, Columbus, Ohio, ubehu inkwell na say inkwell di dwumadie son na ede amount eti hu komo didiana ye baba bedidi inkwell free wa no ba Revolt Africa app, the Revolt Africa app. So we nyumtini and that's we nyumtini afi no aba market no so we independent artist na so opese ye tewo nyum ewa manonia de obe ni opese ye tewo nyum ade obe ni you go to your Play Store or your iOS no why they wa download Revolt Africa app, and I say call into your website www.revoltafrica.net, www.revoltafrica.net. No why they no upload unyum nyina de egu. So we will be also play fresh music in ATR. A simple cry. You go to the Revolt Africa net and then you pull your songs over there. So that is the situation for now. This is a platform that is there to help independent artists. Into now call Revolt Africa app and also no download now say what nice beautiful hip hop songs, hip life songs, you know, reggae, a dance hall, gospel, bibia, and they be doing come and then come on a bit, you know. Because of tribalism. Yes, we are speaking about tribalism today. Today, that is what we are talking about. It's tribalism. It is a opposite be about tribalism. Yes. Who jubane ye ba ababa bidini ne. Eti no. Oba mesona jumedi no wa join me na waba na obekire wa join na fefefe na bibia ayefe ewo hanom enti no ye bedi nkomo ye baba bedi nkomo pa na jumedi ne ede enem be kasa afa tribalism ho. Yes, tribalism, the big T, the thing that nobody want to discuss. Yet, it is destroying our society. It is breaking homes. It is destroying friendships. This is the topic that you and I are about to discuss today. Tribalism. Tribalism. Obi actually say, hey, tribalism, they are no nyede do. Obi actually say tribalism de ano nyede ndodo. Tribalism ho nkomoni bidi. Regardless of whether we like it or we don't like it, no. Ghana ni free. Yes, regardless of whether we like it or we do not like it, no. Ghana any free. When it comes to Ghana, Ghana is made up of different ethnic groups and different tribes. And when it comes to the tribes, most of the tribes, no, omoho and omoho enka. And it did move for a very, very, very long time. Very, very, very long time. And first, very violent. But Nyame Adam say, tribal problems, a kofom kakra. But it is still there. And it being there, it is not showed, but it is showed. That is how tribal problems, aye ewo Ghana. Yes, that is how tribal problems aye ewo Ghana. How do we make sure that we get rid of it? These are conversations that we all need to discuss. Because you see, the fact that we do not discuss the situation doesn't mean that the situation does not exist. The situation exists and the situation will always exist. How can we work on that? How can we make sure that situation will not be there? Yes, tribes they been there. You are Wunyi, Nkunya, you Asante, you Frafra, you Grusi, you Brusa, you tribes they be ewe, Krobo, you Ga Adamgwe, you Fanti, you Kusasi, you Chese Bibri Dagumba Gunja. Nini tribes as a now no, it's believed that tribes today over 100, but the recorded language, the one that have recorded languages no, 59 in Ghana right now. A country like Ghana we have over 59. So basically, the 59 different dialects. Ewo omaina iwonimu. Na to say the age na enimu no. Yes, age na yamai. And pejfosu wonsum only nipa. E kwan be ne be fa so aye betena. Atana. Whether we like it or not, the tribal problem, it is there. Opa obitibay wadwene say ope woho. Opa obitibay wadwene say eniho. But the fact of the matter is that our tribal problems is there and is always going to be there. But how do we find a way to live with ourselves without a tribal situation? I remember I was born and raised in Kumasi, and when I was growing up, what happened was, say it's obi free same near any you could hear words like excuse my language. Like I said, today I'm gonna be solid and I'm gonna tell how it is. Most of the people from the north, especially down to the south, Asante region, ebaba bepe a livelihood pay nyuma Asante region. Most of the people no mu demean those people. This is a fact. This is something that has been there for a longer time. So what Kumasi you know. People that live in around that area used to be demeaned. You demean you you can't somehow. Then normally we will not say to our peers, you can't add yes, uncle. Yes. But you realize there be we are one people, we are one nation. So we'll be free Ghana Hanum. Now call in front say Cote d'Ivoire crana okwa obi an kobusa nsa wo ye di ni ebusa nsa wo ye wo musa nsa wo free tribe ebusa nsa wo free o mind be so no aka say bia me ye Ghana ni. It has come to a point that we have to put aside our tribal differences. So we go to I remember when I went to the kind of say Volta region, we call Pandom Rebina. You could tell say they also have sentiment against Asantes no. So then I sit down and I ask myself, say, other than Asante form pe for us every 4 bars at the for us gan 4 bars at the for us at the 4 pe bono for us bono for. Why do we have this problem? Obi beka say American ke racism. That's what somebody will say. And I feel like say we could do silly racism because we are one people. When it comes to the race, we are one people, but yet we find a way to divide ourselves. You know, yet we find a way to destroy ourselves. And this is something that we all ought to take note of it. We all ought to stop, because before say edua ben enetwi asantini ne be anwonani bone anwonani ne be asantini bone, but a kwan ben ye be fa so a ye be stop it that whole problem of tribalism. No, how do we stop it? How do we stop the tribalism? It has affected kudru enumem how ye enuma affect akwa kudru how ye enuma. So obi kura ye adwuma na say oye nkrani na say obi ye bi amfantini no oba because onye ne tribe ni ntino on person de adwuma na kra ma no affect edru ya ware mu obi bia oye asantini na bi opeso ware anwunani a otubika say da bi anwunani de mempre ana asantini de mempne, and because of that inti our rene maso. Why are we doing that to ourselves? Why are we doing that to ourselves? Say we have a people that refuses to learn from history. History has already taught us a lot of history has already taught us a lot of issues that we all know. History has already taught of a lot of issues that we all know. Say, even the tribal marriages now, people are against. Most of the time, those are the successful marriages that work in our nation. Most of the time, any the best marriages are a year juma or year anymore. Yatena se the tribe Sahama tribe no enu na ewura your politics mu. And when you look at the politics at Ghana, it is sad, because also the NDC both parties now, the MPP, the NDC now, so osho omumi enu na tena se na view the way omu formation na kasate na, you will realize say what they are doing is a tribal alliance na. So a tribal alliance na, the same tribal alliance no, and one ye in politics no. So you sit down and then you think about it. Sit down and think about it as a person. Oko voter, they will always vote for the NDC. Voter will always vote for the NDC. Oba Ashanti region, the Ashanti region will vote for the NPP. Me have heard says will be correct because NPP omo de kotre kwa de basis kwa de beto. That is how hard tribalism no aye and stopping the growth, the development of our nation. How are we going to change it? Think about it. How are we going to change it? Because the growth of the nation has been put on pause. The growth of the nation has been put on pause. Aye then on my moon etimi decide say a particular group of people decide say ye de hana ye to ya baako. So she aye MPP for a tradition no krana. Obesere krabu. So the whole party was formed on tribal lines. Oka almost say you buzia obokale say buzia dombo kufu buzia dombo tradition. Like think about it. And it is a kufu no ye achem for no. A kufu no ye achem for no. Ana dombo no ye sirimfo. Ana buzia no akamfo. How on earth are they yet a political party? Not political party no. It has a tradition based on tribal lines. It's able to because oh ekufu edi ekufu ebedibi buzi abedibi it is say the edu dombo so it whether say dombo no which will be for the northern side it whether say dipano or qualified to be a president or unqualified to be a president you know we are still moving things on a tribal line and I think this is very very bad for the nation. It is ugly for our democracy and this is something that we all need to find a way to it. Yes, this is something that we all need to find a way to it. Now what we are doing, for a developmental project in our nation, you know, is something important as who is going to lead the nation, you know. We based it on tribes. That is how bad it is. Like we based it on tribe. You know, how on earth can we even do that? Say, are they now, you know, you basing it on tribe. You could you man penina on tribe. You vice president, you say, oh, any man penino yinya or ya kaninti, as a vice, you know, as we ceremony, and I say, man penino or yan craninti, as a vice, you know, a baby. It is oyangreni and oye and crani no one qualify crana as work because of the tribes. You see, every nation that want to grow as a nation, that want to be able to develop, every nation that want to able to get there and say we have made it, where we have created a sustainable job system for our people, especially the youth, you know. A nation like that, you know. A nation like that, you know. Into me and train and build it nema based on tribal lines. On my own to be train and building a nema based on tribal lines. Now ube building on nema on tribal lines. What happened? You know, so basically nema on tribal lines. This is what happened. There's a lot that happened when you based your thing on the tribal line. You know, Ubesu Nema on tribal line. This is what happened. And Nema, I say Oman yeno. Oman to me yet. Because now when you have to make a drastic decision, say I'm trying to say, you don't have a choice, but you have chosen Ubia or Ebia. Gadamwe, menin sound, Gadamwe, menin sound. Within the BAM team. What you will be a goddamn way. Because Abia as a vice, because Abia president, you know, a fancy. Eti yam balance ni eti binya fancy and I eti binya kan for me no eti yam balance no. Ade betse na unim say unqualified but because of the political party you know, say I mean because of the tribe you know, say this any part be show. Okay, that's okay. Ye di nipa na baba be show. Ye didn't be say who we no Fufi and Twata Fantina or your president no were free. Now you are left to make this guy who is not qualified to be a president. So you think about it, take a minute and think about it. I believe that instead of we looking at things from a political side and a tribal side, you know, we should look at it from competency. The obey to me aye ejubano. That's how we need to look at it. So who ye opinion be so obedi anymore. Enye because say me ni free kroba ako. Oye mi krom ni, oye mi mansuni enti me yi no. that is something that will go to affect you. Because say Osha one more. So Osha one more omodi politics you know. Most of the people that they keep with them, no, they keep their tribal men with them. And then when they get the positions, they put all their tribal men with them. It's not like say they jubara to ho and they say oh bra also bra for credentials bra say if you qualify for the job, the job description at ho you chirim why not qualify for the job, and that person is the one that has to be chosen. And for say oh yeah I can't fool me no, and for say a slim fool me no, and for any baby any penny free or say I am gonna fool me no, and for sa. But you see, in our line, what happened? We choose it based on the tribal lines. Until when I hear the argument that the MPP are making right now, say, oh, Edru, Baumiaswa, ne me ya, say, Adetina, Yetimishe, Amayukuni, Kase. Asantinia could the Achimnia could the Edru. Why do we even have that tradition? It's not a good tradition because they say, you know, then it means say, okay, it's a more it's same and I'm more Santina more Achima. Then the Bonosobeka say yen swear. Sana Bonobeka say yen swear. Awuri ni beka say yen swear. Infantini beka say yen swear. Hunter force beka say yen swear. Busa force beka say ne yede yen kasa party ni ho ana. Ana yenti bi nyone sa party na na. You cannot develop a nation with tribe. A nation should be developed with principle. It made me say, I wish to say, they say they can see Rwanda now, or abolish a tribe, no, and come abolish a tribe or Ghana. Where every Ghanaian will identify him or herself as a Ghanaian instead of tribal free, no. We are so serious to say, oh, me as Antony, oh, me Angreni, oh, me Awumini, me Fantini, me Bununi. We are so easy to say this. But when it comes to me, a Ghana and India, now a problem. Adentina, I say a problem at the mine. Aden and I say a problem at the mine. These are some of the things that we all need to look at. You have to look at it. I have to look at it. You have to look at it. I have to look at it. Because you ain't me in your mind near the tribe and the kind. We are they voter for Betuama NDC. It doesn't matter the policies that they have. They don't even listen. We are they Ashanti for Betuama MPP. It doesn't matter the policies. The Nipalukura do many monocrano, we nipa or Kasama or ye, we nipa ultimate nipa boom, should be bia, and one say, so far as I may ask Antini, me 2 MPP, so far as I may young and need me 2 voter. And yet, this idea we know, I say or mine. Yes, yet this idea we say or mine. Yet this idea we say or mine. We because oh, so mine and say, yeah, but it's on the verge. If we have to make decisions like that based on tribal, it is very, very, very serious. This is a very serious situation that we all have to look at. That we're making a decision on our lives, you know, we have to look at tribe. I was talking to a lady B, oye eini, oye ever. Oyeve and I know worry man be a ushia man be man no so ye kwuni. Na man na oye kwuni no man any jin ho person worry no. Lady na oye ever no eka che man ne se na wo busuafo beti ase de. You be na can no wo busuafo beti ase de. Asema o ka chere no. Ano so me ma me mo ni problem papa mo ni problem. Me no mbekasa. Omo kasa aye na se bibia ye okay. Afi omo koduru ever ni ho a even in this one tiase. Papa na reason they say or say from voter to kwunu kwawa. Papa na reason they say voter to kwawu no ekwawa enti ompene ema ne ba no free voter enko kwawu it one day obenya ne ba no enware wo voter wa onware obi free voter wa. And then I was speaking to this lady and she's telling me, say, I actually thought, say, yeah, and then kwauni mumu and kebekasa, but I never thought, say, me papa krabit me akasa asemono. And I'm so, well, tribalism, no, it come in all forms. Obi to being say, we a tribal and we the onye tribal. We all Ghanaians, for some reason, we are all tribal. You know, the accounts, because the accounts are the majorities, no, the accounts have been accused of tribalism for a very long time, especially the Ashantis have been accused of tribalism for a very, very long time. And it's when you look at say things that we do say or we do, you can be because they Kumasi for the SSR. Yeah, for the SSR. You go on social media. Or sure hina you dinner empire asante for him. Anytime these guys there's a crop of people be about the social media from the freedom fighters. Anytime the freedom fighters want to accuse any rural leader BI or Ghana BI, it's always the Asante hene. And the worst part of it, say, those people also know omonya Asante for omoya bono for. Most of them, no, I can mention their name. We will be to say Trini Jonas, we will be to say Ohini David, yeah, the be omutimi esse Asante hene kwasia sebi na woni mu a. Se Asante hene kwasia any ade nyina omunyina bono for. Asante also feel say ye ne yakoka sisia anka obi abeka say oh Asante for the obuti say. It is so easy for somebody to even who will be maybe anything juju biano. You can say, oh, I want for. It's so easy. Asantes will point hands to Angona CCA. Gas will point hand to Angona CCA. Oh, but we sit down and we say we are not tribal. You know, we sit down and then we do say we are not tribal. But when you look at it, we are all tribal. Because you all say you are oppressing, you know, now and also oppressing. When you look at those, I want to say they have been oppressed now. Now, no, they are the one oppressing other people. Those who feel like they have been oppressed, you know, or more oppressing other people. So how do we solve that problem? How do we solve that problem? How do we solve that problem? The problem can only be solved if we all come together and see Ghana as the supreme country and see our constitution as our supreme book. Of which in the constitution, you know, Sebi usia angreni ba na openo na we fantini not ase ma na one na ekọ na mo se dem na mo enjoy mo ho a on kai se we angreni on kai se we fantini you guys are enjoying sara de no etie enti ade ne yamana is so problematic say we be free one tribe akọ one tribe the fact can say it is easier when you are same fancy beer, we are can for we are bonnet now we are fancy, and we are fancy now we are santi, we are Kouni now we are santi. Only cool with that. But the moment it turned from okay, or ya Kouni or free walk or Ghana, not any problem. Not any problem. I didn't see that it is I don't think intimate change who ain't free sa anymore. A woman say that tribalism has been in our nation for a very long time. But at this point, you know, we have to make a conscious decision, say we are not going to go that route forever. That route, you know, we are not going to go there forever. Because if we keep going that route, what is going to happen? They say, And the chaos ABC or my to say they see what Rwanda. No. And we should have looked at what happened in Rwanda and make a decision right away. We should have looked at what happened in Rwanda and make a decision right away. Why? Now your government will be to me about in power. Top position, no, they are tribal people. Top position. So it's not even about who qualifies to do the job, who understands the description of the job. How long are we going to be doing this? We've done this for all these years, for all these decades, and it still hasn't helped our nation. And why am I? How long do we think, say, you near behavior like this? We are going to no what's nasi, no what home. Say, me ko social media ya, me ko akudidi asante hinate we. Me papa, me papa owo me, oye guan ni no, me timi edidi natem. Ana me papa owo me na oye bunu ni no, me timi ejiram papa enim edidi me papa atem. Then you think about it that way. We need to start seeing ourselves as a collective people. So ye collective people. That is where all the problems come from. We need to start seeing ourselves as a collective people. Collective people, when I say collective people, what do I mean by collective people? Yes, regardless of our tribe, Ghana need first look at Ghana as the bigger picture. And I strongly believe that if we are able to look at Ghana as a bigger picture, ni amfa niema ni bi ankeka ho, ni ama niema bi ehia ni ama Ghana esombo maye, the productivity that we want to reach, we can. We can reach the productivity that we do want to reach. Yes. Oman de ebeye ye, but ejina yen so. Oman ain't be nye by itself. Oman ain't be nye by itself. It is a Ghana ni, and it is very, very sad. When you go to Ghana for be, I prefer say obeware Bruni than say obeware Ghana ni on in free tribe. Bruni Ghana ni to be ko ware Bruni ya. Ne mame entene kasa. And so ni nua on in free the same country obetimi na kasa ba akono. Ompeno. This is something we have to look at. Ninuya onenete omai ba akumuno. Ninuya onenete omai mu a wo mu kakasa ba akono ompeno. Ompesa ninuya no. But obetenase. No aka say we feel so proud say me pe broni. Ama ne busuafo na the same busuafo na no mo say omonte ase say edipa so be free tribe we mu no. Omaje tuma tutuntuma akwa jana na akware broni. And then you sit down and you say how can we develop our nation if we ourselves behave this way? Yes. If we ourselves behave this way. In this world you have to trust somebody. We cannot sit down and say 100 years ago no and cranfo ye achimfo say achimfo ye mfantifo say mfantifo ye guanfo say a hunter for ye bonofo say it because of that nti ye ware wo mu a enye yi. We need to trust ourselves. And trusting ourselves is to let go of the past. Because most of us we didn't live during that time. Yen living that time, no. Yen yafa at the end of wake up. You see so giddy. Yen living that time. And the yafa at the end of wake up. So you sit there and then you ask yourself, how do we solve this? Like I said, collective action. It's a communal labor. Oman Adwuma. It is something that we all have to come together and say, listen, we are one people. Because all the Ghana need our free south. Ejina ho. Now the Ghana need our free north. Ejina ho. Now the next foreigner. Oh, no difference. There's no difference. Even within us, no crown. There's no difference. A be a din And the better say, oh, nipa mercy, a free ha and I say nye dia, difference. There is no difference. And the adding tina, yen for that same approach na any yen who enter. And because we move that way in Intina, it has given the politicians the mandate, the power to act like that, irresponsibly, because we the people ourselves, that way. It is time that we have to come back and assess things, come back to the drawing board and assess and look at things and see, say, hey, is this the best way to go? Can we keep going on this way? Can we keep on saying, say, so because of the tribe? Ye be obedi franke tufo amene di party anymore. Are we still going to say eduru ni pass so? Think about it. Asema make an ebia ebe how say me kasa, but this conversation is a conversation that we have to keep talking about, because a idea is you try your best, your possible best, and you free your system nim and yet and more my obi okra ukuta ade this hospital you find so a nurse no an hour a doctor this will be background no free different tribe on treating ye because on the tribesmen we cannot keep behaving like that. We cannot keep doing things like that. We cannot keep on flaming the fire like that. Ye your mind bako. Ye funukrumo ade ye nyina ye kana forma. Ye timi free ha enko botogo abusuya. Ghana abusuya na yebebo. Obi nka say, don't be proud of your tribe or your ethnicity, but you being proud of your tribe or no, you being proud of your tribe or no, and fa enko dimini ubi tribe, and fa enko tete ubi so tribe. Yes, it is okay to be proud of your tribe. I am proud of my tribe, and I believe you should also be proud of your tribe. But anyone say, "Maybe you're proud of me tribe untino." Ese me ko na me de koko dimini obi tribe. Yes, baby will be right. Esiro, a hon will be so right. Eshase. It's a borderline, and we need to be very careful about it, especially on social media. So many people look at it say social media no okohwa. It's like a whole different world. It to me kohwa no akochoro de ope, and now okohwa no akokande de ope now. But in this world, no. It's not like that. In this world that we live in, it's not black and white. We are one people. To be able to move our nation forward, we all need to come together as a people and then support our nation. That is the only way that we can move the nation forward. You really want to see something good happen in Ghana? Do you really want to see something good happening in Ghana? Yes. And the Ghanaian that can solve the Ghanaian problem. Ultimately, white man, a Caucasian, Ghana, solve Ghana problem. It will take only a Ghanaian to solve a Ghanaian problem, because only a Ghanaian that knows the Ghanaian problem. Until less devoid of tribes. Ye nyai tribes biya ye do ho fe no. Eba juju sema obi say hey aguna sebi yetimi bonyom na ye the set tribe be say omo de be sibra no bope. And psychologically, these things can affect people. And you build your mind as you build your mind near person or mind yeah. That is how we go. That is how we go. We need to move from all that Nema Mwa tribally driven. We need to get rid of all of them. Yes. See, I'm getting rid of sa Nema Nina. A bedroom maybe tough for us. A bedroom maybe very, 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 very tough for us to even be able to stabilize the nation. Because enkrana omo bano omo pressure was soro sene ye. Enkrana omo bano omo ti ase different esene ye. Asema ye ka kire wa wo be ye cool no ye ka ba ko ne kire wa obi cool you down. It will take 2 or 3 times to cool enkrana omo bano down. Until we need to be very, very careful of the kind of politics we need to be very, very careful of our tribal sentiments. We could publish a whole book nation, then we put in a national book. Then we put in say Efo went to a soccer game and then he went to do juju. Like, think about it. You stereotype a specific group of people. We say we say no, and then we brand the whole people and put them in one book and in one box, and then act like this is how these people are. Even seeing from afar, and we look at it and say, "Oh, we say no, say I don't bear." Really? How do you decide to say obey say na oh dear on yes idea? How do you decide that? How do you know so be say but oh the own yet? How do you know? Until we need to find a way to solve our problems. We need to find a way to solve these problems, because these problems are Ghanaian problems. So politicians and so when politicians are making comments that are going to bring chaos in our environment, because what we do not realize all the time, what we do not understand all the time, we say the politician no asem sisi ya ono na ebusunya for the omuhu so wo na wo ne me wo ne me one me yesu ye situation ebe yesay politician no ne hu so na wo ne me situation ne te say. That is where we need to look at this whole thing from. And support to political party and the BBA tribal lines. Do not. And supporting political party or hiding under tribalism and the person or the victim. Say, oh, me a victim. I'm a victim of tribalism. Do not support such a political party. A political party or the minor umpuntu a number 1 priority. And support to political party obi betimi akogina party ni mu mpanyin fo bit baka say ye ne control o man ye na o man ne niema nyina e wo yen saase so tie na ese control o man no. And support to political party. Ghana. And fa hon say any say any ngani oboase for beka say any enfo oboase me capital because e hona good nyina wo. Yes. If also beka say omo 2 box site so hunter follow so beka say yes you 2 box site e dubufa have a capital because box site na this carry bro man nyina aha ne wo. Sa so na woko bi ho so meka say team by wo man ni mu nyina aha ne wo nti. So how do we develop a nation like that? You sit down and think about it. We should not allow these political parties to, when it comes to say, power there, no more the tribal lines, you know, try say, no more the bad, power. We should not allow them. They will always want to do that. They will always want to do that. Will you allow them? It is on us. It is on us. It is on us to stand up as a people. It is on us to stand up as a people and say to the political elites and say, enough is enough. Yempene ema monfa Ghana nko baby amon pese mo de Ghana no kono. Ghana ye nyina idea. Ade tire se obi to be sorry no abeka de no akanum na ye political na kwa say ene ye de free henti ye de hana se ye to abako. I don't know on my money per mom. No one decided said this is how they are going to vote. They say won't any political abra tribal MM. Sometimes, you know, obiye low key. You look at it, obiye low key, kakra, but already be beyond the lines. I won't say, akwe, asema okay, you know, political tone and where all kind of sound. We are humans, and humans are always going to be there for each other. Doesn't even matter your tribe. But you see, so tribe be a hot time, and tribe be who he a raw kumemua. One we idea so we cry the ball, man. One yet we have seen it where in our Black Star crown, there was a point in time it was there. I can't phone in a kugu baby. Now we if some phone in a kugu baby. Now yeah, pre ana akanine captain. It yes is ceremony vice. And I say it mean just say I are of power. And then even in the only thing that binds us together as Ghanaians, you know, your blaster no drew hono. Is because that is the will of the people, because that is the will of the politicians. It is so easy for the politicians to get up and do things that way, so some people will feel only a victim so they can get votes, or some people will feel that they are in power so they can get votes, and that is what they are doing. Both parties are guilty of this. It means so I say so we Ghana near magana hun here magana hondo. And now wakumaso ma anything Ghana enye wope ma Ghana enye adia wope na sa Ghana ya adia wopa omani be ye eduma beba. That is when we will be able to look at the politician and tell politicians, say, you promised me this and you have to deliver. But now the person is looking at it and say, oh me crew me need free tribe back. And then we are looking at it from a tribal. How do you then criticize that politician? It becomes hard because you've already given a soft spot for this politician. It will be bikrana untuminya day. E mono e nyina no so e mane nyet ni yie e mfa maw. And that is not how we do develop a nation. That is not how we do develop a nation. Developing of a nation, you know, it takes time. It takes effort. It takes collective action. It takes for Yenina to come out, irrespective of our tribal or of our political affiliations, to come out and say, dear, as soon as you're wrong. They are trying to pinch us against each other. And when you are a Ghanaian, now you're Ghanaian, but now when it say you're Ghanaian, now do Ghana, now person my Ghana, stay away from tribalism. Stay away from tribalism. Tribalism, maybe in Ghana, in Rwanda, the Hutus and Tutsis, no. We all know 1 million people died because of tribal sentiments. You know, 1 million people died. Nipa maku 1 million. Anyway, think about it. When you have a small nation like Ghana, you have 1 million people die because of tribes. It is something that we need to work on it. We know, you know, say decisions are making based on tribal. Nema general nkasa enye adwuma politician e ba ho no be catch us say unua ofri aha o tamfo catch say wo na wo ye metamfo enyim no, because we work together, we come from different and various places, and we come together as a nation and work for the nation. That is the best way to move a nation forward. Stay away from tribalism, and then Ghana will be a great nation as we come together as one people to develop our nation. Me do be as say Oje Brenna Oditi Oman Adwuma. Nyame nhyira yi nyina. Medamase.